Welcome to Wellness Tea Time with Dr. Rita. My name is Dr. Rita Sonko, a public health physician. I am the host of this show, and I aim to help you engage with different guests to understand more about mental health. Remember, Toliweka, you're not alone. It's very important for us to break the stigma and break the silence about mental health. Welcome to Wellness Tea Time with Dr. Rita. I have an amazing opportunity today to talk to Baba Ra.
Yeah.
welcome, Mr. Muyinda.
Thank you, Dr. Rita.
Yeah, please tell our guests about you, our viewers about you. Who is Baba Ra?
Yes, I'm glad to be here, Dr. Rita, seated with you. Such a great mind and an inspiration to this country, I should say.
Thank you.
The name is Rama Muyinda, also known as Baba Ra. So I am a lawyer by profession, and I am a reggae, dancehall, live performer. So I come from two worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah, it usually gets people wondering, how does a lawyer jump on stage?
That's amazing.
Briefly, that's what I do, and currently I'm heading the mental health department at the Uganda National Musicians Federation. Yeah, so
fantastic. It's really awesome to have you. And you know, we met at the launch of Toliweka, and I was so impressed with, you know, some of the thoughts that you shared already at that point. And I thought, we need to have our time to have this conversation, because there's so much to tap into. And as we were having a conversation earlier over our tea time, I was thinking, where do we focus our conversation? Because there are so many issues in the sector that you're in, the music world, right?
You're very right. There are lots of issues, and I don't think even if we had a whole week, we would
that we would
exhaust everything. But of course, bit by bit. I must assure you that you have the right person here. So
no, thank you so much. Thank you for that. So I suppose the starting point, I think musicians tend to have this reputation that, you know, they tend to either get into addictions or use addictive substances and stuff like that. Why is that? Why is there this negative? Is it just hearsay, or is it real? Is there a real problem that the public, you know, is worried about, but it's real, or is it just hearsay?
So to begin with, I must say that there is no smoke without fire.
Yeah.
So whether it was hearsay, we have to discover whether there are facts down there. But as an industry player, I must say and confess that yes, there is a lot of substance use and drug abuse, I must say, and not so attractive behaviors that go on in the industry, especially the mainstream industry, because we have to know that the creative world is broken down into about 9 domains. We have the musicians themselves, we have comedians, we have crafts, people who make crafts, we have the visual artists, we have the, you know, comedians, drama players, actors, and all that. So it so happens that where I come from, the domain which is the performing arts, or the musicians themselves who write the songs, compose, and then go and perform on stage, almost the most vibrant and the most noise makers out there.
The loudest.
The loudest. And also the majority number. There is reason why there has to be a concern on why is there a lot of this and that. So to answer you briefly, yes, it is true. There is a lot of mental illness caused by different issues, but as we shall discuss ahead, we shall find out.
So what are some of the pressures, really? Why is it that this is the case? What is pushing musicians into that situation of, is it there too much industry pressure? Is it performance pressure? What are the contributing factors around poor mental health?
That's a very, very great question, because I think it will help us find where the root cause of the problems. Where do I start from?
Lots of issues to deal with. Yeah.
We all know that the first pressure we talk about is the peer pressure.
Yeah.
Everyone says peer pressure. But in the industry, it's quite different because we should. It should be brought to our notice that the creative art sector in Uganda is one that is informal. It doesn't have any structure. We're actually just trying to build and formalize it.
To formalize it
right
now.
So it is a free entry, free exit kind of sector. Anyone can decide to start singing tomorrow. So this is one of the biggest problems in the kind of research we have done, that unlike other sectors, maybe probably like the education sector, where you have to be oriented, you have to be come in on merit and this. Here, anyone can come in wherever they've grown up from and wherever they've been. So that informality has been an issue that creates a kind of pressure that these artists have no one to look up to.
Right.
When they look at that person, then they just want to copy everything.
Exactly how the person is. Yeah.
So you find that there is no room for themselves to be guided, mentored, and all this.
So you're also talking about in terms of where they've come from. A young person has discovered their talent. They just became popular, and now they are doing the thing.
And now they have followers.
Yeah, and everyone
is looking up to them.
Yeah, now they become role models.
Just like that.
Role models,
But of course, we also have what they call the stage fright, or the stage phobia, where you find that many of these artists have not experienced this elsewhere, So by the time you bring him, he's about 20 years, he has a big song, and he's supposed to face about 2,000 people.
2,000 people on stage,
The first time he comes and he doesn't impress, or he's afraid himself, the next time he's going to find options, or a stimulant, or he's going to be like, how does this one do it?
How do they do it so that they are calm?
So that they are calm, or so that they can face the people. So that stage fright also brings a lot of many creatives to try and find other diverse ways of standing confident, and of course it comes with the aspect of low self-esteem.
Absolutely.
These are things that
challenge,
we should be teaching our young people as they grow up to have. So the pressures around, speaking of the economy itself, there are a lot of pressures around that's around here, but we can zero on to first the upbringing, the kind of mindset we have in the country itself, and what the industry stands like.
So this person comes from that background where they themselves don't have enough skill set in their toolbox to cope under pressure. And now they find themselves under this intense scrutiny, and and I understand there's also quite a bit of abuse, what do you call, bullying. Online bullying, and people, say all sorts of things, and you can't handle it.
The social media impact has also been something that has really taken this industry elsewhere. And even before we jump to social media, even our mainstream media itself. And I've always, when I'm speaking to mental health students or any persons out there, I always tell them that, Uganda has something that, I don't know whether it is the government we should blame or ourselves, but we don't have anything like a national values policy. Or we don't have that kind of, what you would see in other countries, like in Europe, or like where, or just our neighbor here in Rwanda. You can see that there are things they do that are nationalistic, like everyone from Rwanda has to know this, So that lacks a lot in Uganda, and it has impacted us, in the long run.
I think that's an interesting point that you bring up. But I'm wondering if those values don't actually start in the home, right? I mean, in the homes in which we are raised. If we could inculcate more of that, like, who are you? What are the do's and don'ts of a citizen, And before you even go to school, at home, what are we teaching these children? You know, so I think, like you're saying, like where you're raised and where you come from and so forth, becomes a strong basis. And then, of course, all of that, culminates into this national thing that we could ideally have.
Very true. But also, maybe not to forget, is that there is, because now I'm speaking for our sector.
Yeah.
You will notice that the traditional belief or the mindset that has been put on the creative sector of musicians has actually ended up impacting us negatively so much. You know, we have grown up in a space where everyone knows musicians are bayai. Musicians didn't go to school. Musicians this and that. So you find that even the people, the young talents that want to join the sector, even if they have come from good families, if they've gone to school, they still want to be identified as
to fit in, fit in now. Yeah. So I suppose that's where the peer pressure comes in as well.
Exactly.
Sure. Yeah. No, that's interesting, because I mean, we should be talking a lot more about musicians like you who are also professionals and who have qualifications and changing this, the look and feel. That the narrative is that you don't have to be a muyaye, like you're saying, like someone who is abusing drugs or who is doing all sorts of things, but you can actually be, prim and proper and still do, use your talent to entertain the world and, put out a message out there.
Very true. And it is one of the reasons why I wear dreadlock and I am a lawyer. Because previously I would be speaking to the artists, because I'm a copyright consultant, so I've been sensitizing about copyright a lot. But when I was talking to them previously, you would see that, you see the aspect of fitting in? I would never fit in. They would always be like, Azena Makotike. They want this, they want this. So I said, I used to have a dreadlock, but now I've finished books. Let me first show these guys that we are not actually what they think of us. I'm not my hair. So recently, I think when we were doing consultations about copyright and what, we went into parliament, and the person who was chairing the committee, Honorable, I'll reserve the name, we were introducing ourselves. So I introduced, and I'm like, I'm the head of legal of he pulled himself back in the seat. He's like, what? How can this, all these artists are presenting him as the head of legal. But when I started speaking, he was so impressed. He actually had to apologize. He was like, when we see you, we think. So I'm like, that's what we are trying to do. We have to change the narrative, because it's actually impacting the younger ones more.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that is very, very important. So now to the point around support systems. I know that the federation that you're part of are doing quite a few things. What is helpful from your observation that people need to really start moving towards taking better care of themselves? I mean, there's stuff you can do as a federation, and what is it that you do for them to help them? And what responsibility do they as individuals also have to just make sure that they take up, because sometimes you can offer services, but actually they are not taken up, for all sorts of reasons.
Very true. So the federation is making actually its first year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow, just a year?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's making.
Congratulations. I think you've done a lot in 1 year.
We've really sacrificed a lot. Yeah, we are pushing. So, as the federation itself was established, we were fighting to lobby for copyright and all this and what. However, we discovered that, do you know that because of the impact of COVID, we actually had over 60% of actual industry players, active artists, dropping out, disappearing, or getting frustrated and depressed, going into depression. So this is where the inspiration of the mental health department came to board. And even when it first came on, we didn't know what we were going to do, because we are not medical professionals. We just had the space and the platform. So we engaged different partners, and we saw how to make it kickstart.
Yeah.
And because we already had cases within us, we decided to start with those
people.
Most of them are not willing. Like any person who is addicted to something, they will always be in denial. No one thinks they need help.
Yeah.
And all this. So yeah, well, we began with a few of our colleagues, and we managed to rehabilitate some of them. Yeah,
that's good.
So actually, just recently we received one of our members back.
Oh wow!
Fully, and
wow!
Very soon you will see her championing the campaign on mental health. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah. So we've done rehabilitations. We are trying, because the other thing that happens to creatives themselves, like I was saying, living in denial, it's very hard for you to have a huge following, and then tomorrow you
have
representing a totally different, idea. So many of them would not. We even had a story recently where about 3 artists died in Masaka.
Oh no!
Because of failing to come out that they need help, whether financially, so they ended up getting ulcers, bringing other diseases, just like that. Yeah. And these are prominent people. We thought they had traveled abroad, we thought what?
Meanwhile, they're at home struggling on their own. And that is very sad, yeah.
So the support system is being created. We are trying to find a way of seeing how we can push it to touch every small corner. And you know that musicians or the industry deals with what they call ghettos.
Yeah.
Most of the studios are in ghettos. Most of the industry players are ghetto people. So there's a lot that has to be done. But I believe that with such platforms and programs that we are beginning, we're going to move quite faster.
So it sounds like there is obviously a need for a really rounded support.
Yeah.
Right from entry point, mentorship, support, how to manage yourself, through to obviously how you maintain yourself and get help when you need help. Yeah.
Because the victims actually need what they call renewed hope,
Yeah, absolutely.
We just need to give them that, you still have a life to live.
Yeah.
You still have a purpose
here
and there.
Yeah.
And then also with the establishment of the federation, we are putting more emphasis on the research. Because we all know that globally there is a very big breakdown on mental health of people, mental well-being. So we are doing more and more research.
Capturing the facts and figures for the sector.
Yeah.
That's I think extremely important to quantify what's really going on, because I think when you count and this is the problem, then you can actually plan better.
True.
Yeah. So what kind of strategies would you suggest for an individual? Now let's put it down to the individual now coming in. A young person out there is, fledgling musician is coming up. What kind of strategies might they deploy so that they do better and they don't fall into the usual same traps that others have fallen in?
Yeah. So you know why they say, have you heard of a saying that oyo yavako?
I've heard of that.
Or something. So I've been telling many of the people I engage with that drug use or abuse or substance abuse and use taps into your spiritual well-being. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It kind of covers over what you believe as yourself, as your normal self. So the first thing I've already said, do not underestimate the power of prayer. Yeah, we cannot underestimate the power of prayer. People do not understand this because everyone believes in their own, all have been brought up differently. But we who have lived the testimonies know that prayer works so much.
Exactly.
No matter, because many of these people actually want to quit. They've done these things, they want to quit, they feel like, and this is because of substance, but we have other virtual addictions that we don't even talk about, pornography, all that,
Absolutely. So, even just TikTok.
Yeah.
Someone is addicted constantly,
exactly.
on TikTok. Yeah.
So we one of the strategies is to always bring up what we have done. Even at the federation, we have set up what they call fellowships. Fellowships for musicians, where musicians don't feel like we are going to go and engage with the normal public or what. They feel like they can come and
and be themselves and connect spiritually with other people as well. So that's amazing.
Every Tuesday we carry we have what they call a Tuesday jam session.
Okay.
Where musicians can come and it begins with a fellowship and prayer. So and then we can have musicians come and share a platform, live together and all that. So that is one of the main things we have done. And then as I spoke of safe spaces, because there are not so many, or there is none that we have heard of, a rehabilitation center that can understand that this is a different sector, or these are unique kind of people. They have big followings because we are almost like politicians, We have those kind of public pressures around us. So
the issue of privacy becomes very important. You want to go in a place where people are not gonna
mock me, point fingers at me and all this. So and then of course we are lobbying for more partnerships. We have the Ministry of Health on board, which is very good. Excuse me. The Parliamentary Forum on Mental Health, different rehabilitation centers, and of course we have Toliweka now, and we are still creating more and more strategies.
The more that we can have to provide more support, the better. I think it's very important that we really look at rounded support. And I was just thinking about this individual that is coming in, maybe young and new. What kind of support might they get? Maybe from the federation around pairing up with mentors and people who can help you, hold your hand, because that is really, maybe potentially a needed intervention.
Now with the young talents or artists, because as I mentioned earlier, it's an informal sector. It has been an informal sector that we are trying to formalize right now. So with the young talents, what we are doing, or what I would advise them to do, is to find a mentor. Find a mentor. Because the earlier players in the industry, the predecessors, they had nothing like mentorship. Everyone just came on their own. Everyone is doing their own thing. But it is so easy to spot out, because like what else we are doing? We are documenting success stories of artists who have been successful but not affiliated to any substance abuse or what. Because I think this is a world that people have not tapped into. When you go to the media,
they always think that people are using stuff.
It's the traditional beliefs I was telling you that you've grown up with. So right now we are trying to show the young people that there are people like President Eddie Kenzo. You've never heard him being drunk on the street or what, or into this and this. There are people who have made it, and there are people like me myself. You can't tell me that you first smoke then go to stage or what. No, I won't do that. So mentorship is one key thing that is very important. Then as a follow-up on mentorship, maybe a related point would be education. So many of these young people were deceived or lied to that you can make it. You can make it without even the books.
Without getting any education at all.
You can just, be like a miracle child. But to be honest, without a person who is learned can never be similar to a person who has not seen the blackboard at all. So if you have the opportunity and you're a young person out there, please try to, and these days, you don't have to see the blackboard and what all the time, but you can always learn a skill out there. When you learn something that can help you in your individual life or personal life, then you understand that there is a purpose for you to live. But there is a generation which I call maybe the forgotten generation, because of what is happening anyway, whatever we hear, trending and all that. They have an attitude of self-destruction. You find a person who says, there is no God, or I don't care, I don't know what's inside me. You find a person doing something very dangerous to their life, like sniffing fuel, and you're like,
what is going on?
What's going on? But for them, they show you, it's okay.
They really don't care.
They really don't
care. And I think to your point about the spiritual aspect, that is so important for our mental health, actually.
Yeah.
Because if you have a balance between your body, mind, and spirit, you have a chance, because all of these three parts of you are together. Yeah, and you're walking in the same direction. But when you forget that you're actually a spiritual being and you have a purpose, and you're busy running around following whoever someone else is doing, that's what you're following. I think that's very distracting.
Blow you wherever
they blow you like a leaf, you know.
Before you know it.
Yeah. Wow.
So, however, I have to give hope to the country and all our viewers out there that as an industry and the leadership in the industry currently, we are working day and night to ensure that we have a generation that is going to be professional in the sector. That has career guidance, that knows that music or art can actually be a business
and a proper career like anyone else. And you can actually be professional and do it.
And actually your kids carry on. They like, I want to be like daddy or something. Which is not happening currently.
That's amazing. I also think that the sector has also a contribution to make to the broader public. As I was saying to someone that, in the early, period of the HIV pandemic, if it wasn't, early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, if it wasn't for File Bongo Le Rutaya, honestly. Because for me, that was when I was a young child and hearing these messages of File Bongo Le Rutaya.
You said, I have to.
And it's because of that kind of level of awareness and reality that was brought into the public that people really started to believe that, HIV is actually real. So I think even for mental health, we need role models. We need people who are visible, who can say, look, this thing is real. Depression is real, all sorts of things that are happening behind the scenes. Because a lot of times people think that when you talk mental health, that you're talking about the guy throwing stones.
Which is...
and they don't understand that you have a mind, you have a body, and a soul. And this mind also has to be healthy. Has to be taken care of just like the body. So how to put that message out there more clearly? The artists that have had issues or challenges, that have been able to share their stories, those stories resonate quite widely. So from your perspective, what do you see potentially as a role for the Federation, for example, to help us mobilize that kind of voice in a bigger way, I mean, I've worked with some of the colleagues like Exodus who have come on board and helped our campaign, but how can we get more voices? Because we need more voices for sure.
Very true. And Dr. Rita, it is such a pleasure that you're asking me this question, because I have to deliver it direct as it came. But of course, as creatives, the first or simplest or easiest thing we can do is to create a message that can be widely accepted and actually enjoyed, as one of our colleagues says, edutainment.
Edutainment is very helpful.
Enjoy, So I can't say we have not done anything, but of course, to begin with, is the jam session, as still that I said. With the jam session, as much as we do it to empower ourselves as creatives, we still have a sector for entertaining the public. So we always invite the public around. But also, it is quite important and I think crucial to do because entertainers are icons.
Yes,
You know,
absolutely.
they have big followings. They have a person can just be out there, but when they feel like whatever Dr. Chameleon does is what
is the thing.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
So if there are those kind of people, and then tomorrow the artist I'm talking about says, tugende fena tukolechi tutamire or something, you know.
So people will just follow.
We will just follow that. Yeah. So we are emphasizing with our you discover that even at the jam session itself, we regulate you know the kind of music that is going to be performed out there. We cannot let anyone do that. So as we are amending the copyright law, we are also drafting up a policy to regulate the industry because of course we've had so many complaints about lyrics and behaviors of some musicians on stages, dress codes, all these things in schools. You're hearing how some artists were going to schools. So
so that negative influence,
that negative influence,
that,
you know, and also the media itself has been so concentrated on pushing the negativity in the public eye, you know. But what I can guarantee you is that we are working on lots of works, and now Toliweka is our partner. We promise you that we are going to put a stone onto what you're constructing.
Yeah.
And
thank you.
Yep, we have the creative minds. Artists are so talented. Uganda is so lucky to be one of the most culturally diverse countries.
Yes.
So just about singing Luganda, we can still do it in Karamajong, in Itesot, in you know, because we mostly concentrate in the center, but out there,
the message is really needed out everywhere. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Now, thank you so much for that, and for your last minute, what would you say to someone out there who is seeing Baba Ra, my role model out there, and maybe they've heard for the first time that you're actually a professional, you want them to also think about those aspects. What would you say to these young people? Busy watching musicians and that, but following the negative, the things that are not constructive. Can we steer them back on track to do better for themselves?
Thank you once again, Toliweka, Dr. Rita Sonko. This is so great. I'm so honored to be here. And my last remarks to any viewer out there, the young people especially, but also the mature people who are lost, who do not know what to do, or not all hopes are lost. As long as you have life, you should know that God has a plan for you. As long as you wake up tomorrow, just know there is something that you should do better about yourself. So what do I leave with you? On the issue of drug and substance abuse, one thing that should be your weapon, the urge of using that substance can never be stronger than your will to say no. So please try to distance yourself, try to look into your spiritual well-being, and then know that life is better off when you're sober.
So basically they need to dig deep and find that no. No matter what.
No matter what.
And
you
focus
can always
on
say no to.
You can always say no.
Yes.
And that's a choice you have, absolutely, as an individual.
Maybe also just to emphasize, it's only one life.
It's only
one life to live. You decide how you want to live it. And no matter, you can never have call a person your friend when they do not tell you the truth. If I was speaking to you here and I had maybe not a very good scent, and then you keep it to yourself, then I wouldn't call you my friend. So make sure you have the people who always tell you the truth. When you see the other one always wants to take you into, then you know that person is not the right person for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I think I couldn't give a better advice than that. Thank you so much. I think that every young person out there listening, in fact, even the musicians, those young musicians, as these days have been attracted to the rappers, as like, you could rap in Luganda that fast.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is amazing. But then, you know, like you're saying, that ghetto environment is actually quite worrying in terms of where they find themselves and what they surround themselves with, how they can do better, you know, and dig deeper to think, this talent that I have, how am I going to leverage it to influence positively?
Don't forget that talent was never bought.
Yeah, yeah.
You didn't go into any supermarket and say,
and
I
you bought
to
it.
sing like this or what.
Yeah, yeah.
It's God-given.
Yeah.
So please always remember your God is alive, you know?
And you can leverage that talent to actually transform other lives positively.
Positively.
Not negatively.
Positively. And there is a lot of money into music if you do it right. So don't forget to Gems of Wisdom. Find it wherever you can.
There's some good wisdom in there. Yeah.
There are a lot of answers here, so please find this book.
Aristoc, actually.
Aristoc has it already.
Yeah,
it's
Aristoc has it, yes.
Yeah, in the bookstores. So please find this and get yourself a copy. I'll be there. My contacts are public. You can check me out on any social media platform. And the federation is situated at Alusut in Mutundwe. So you can always come ask for Baba Ra. I'm there, I'm open, easy to deal with. And
and you provide free mentoring and support. No, thank you so much. Really appreciate that you've offered us your time, and this is a fantastic conversation that we've had.
I wish it could go on.
Absolutely. I've enjoyed it too, and wishing you all the best, and I can't wait to watch you on stage at some point.
You should. You should. Thank you so much, Doctor.
Thank you.